Opening the NATO summit in Washington, President Joe Biden had two audiences: the hundreds of world leaders and foreign diplomats who were sitting in front of him, and Americans, including Democrats on Capitol Hill, who were watching on TV.
Distinguished guests, the NATO allies.
President Joe Biden welcomed the 31 other NATO heads of state to Washington Tuesday evening with a stout defense of the alliance on its 75th anniversary.
If you are threatened, we are threatened. If you're not at peace, we cannot be at peace.
The speech comes at a pivotal moment for Biden as he tries to reassure voters and fellow Democrats after his dismal debate against former President Donald Trump nearly 2 weeks ago. Mostly reading from the teleprompter, Biden spoke forcefully and expressively, making no notable flubs or gaffes. He was interrupted by applause several times, including when he reaffirmed support for Ukraine in its war with Russia.
Russia will not prevail. Ukraine will prevail.
With his speech, Biden sought to draw an unspoken contrast with Trump and made a point of saying 23 NATO nations now pay at least 2% of their GDP in NATO dues, up from just 9 when he took office, although it was Trump who first began calling for nations to pony up. Also attending the summit is Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. He called for decisive action from the U.S. and Europe.
We are fighting for additional security guarantees for Ukraine, including weapons and finances, political support.
Ukraine is not currently a member of NATO, but the White House is expected to unveil a series of steps to potentially pave the way for membership down the road.
Make no mistake, Russia is failing in this war.
And one more powerful moment to tell you about. As Biden was wrapping up his speech, he invited the Secretary General of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, to come up on stage, where he surprised him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the nation's highest civilian honor. The Secretary General will be leaving his post in October after nearly a decade at the head of NATO. In Washington, the 7 Koslof, Spectrum News.